Thank you, and you?
I'm good, thank you. Good. Good to see you again. Hello, Viet Ang.
Hello, teacher.
How are you, Viet Ang?
I'm good.
Good. Okay, we'll get started in just a moment. I'll see how many people are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Hello, Mrs. Ha. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Ha. Okay. Is anyone new in the class today?
No, but Ngọc Tú and Khánh Linh, they asked for being absent today.
Right. How is Kang Ling? Do you know?
She is very sad because she got a very bad result.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, but so she didn't want to tell. But I comforted her that okay, like expensive price for taking a mock test for the first time.
Yes.
So don't worry about that because I told her that like Châu Giang, she is studying in international school. But she took like a 2 or 3 times for IELTS test, written test already. But she still got 6.5.
Yes.
And so but it's good for her. Now she knows like what skills she need to improve.
Right.
And try to practice listening and reading more, because she said that like speaking is speaking was the best test. And speaking and no, but listening and reading was a really bad, and she didn't think it was as bad as she did.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
So that's why I remind all of you here, try to practice listening and reading by yourself as much as possible.
Yes,
and I think you need to do every week, even every day. Every day just need to read at least 1 paragraph for IELTS reading test.
That's right.
But otherwise you won't have enough time to practice when you see the read test.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, but so she was sad, and today next week she will join the class.
She will join. Okay. I'm sorry. Sorry she can't make it today.
Yeah, because she was very disappointed about herself.
Right. Yeah, of course. But she is. I hope she doesn't feel too bad for all the reasons you mentioned. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And but of course, maybe the first time she was too nervous.
Yes, of course.
And like I told her, like Châu Giang took the written test for 3 times already, but still arranged like about 6.0 and then 6.5, and even so when she took the our mock test, she also got only 6.5 for overall.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Ha. Okay, everybody. Well, welcome to class for today, and lovely to see you all again. And it was so lovely to see you all face to face for the last couple of weeks. And I miss you already, but it was great to see you face to face. And of course, I will come back to Hanoi again soon, next year. So look forward to seeing you all again then. So what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to review the test with you, last week's mock test. So to give you some suggestions and maybe show you where some of you can improve. In fact, you can all improve your score, of course, but I will try show you some general areas where you can improve, and we'll do a little bit of practice on that today. Does anyone have any questions before we start? Okay, I think Chami, is it cold there today? I see you are wearing a jersey.
Yes, it's a little bit cold. I have just come out, and yeah.
Okay. Here today, you can see what I'm wearing. Here today is very hot. It's about 26 degrees, but was only 12 when I came back to New Zealand from Hanoi. It was only about 12 degrees, so I was cold for a while. But today the weather has improved a lot. Finally, because it's supposed to be summer here, but still very cold most days. Okay, anyway, let's get started on what is happening today. All right, and I'm just going to turn the fan on my laptop because, like I say, it's warm here today. Okay. All right, everyone. So we're going to be looking at both the writing and the speaking, which you did for me last week. Now, I hope you all found doing the mock test useful. I know some of you were very nervous, which is completely normal, okay, and very understandable. But the whole idea was doing the mock test was to give you a feeling, of course, for what it's like to do a test like that, and also to do a test with a foreign speaking teacher, and to get you used to the feeling of having to do the test in a certain amount of time. So to get you used to the pressure of doing the test, and also just to see what sort of score you can get at this stage. Now, looking at writing task 1, I have some general suggestions for everyone. So number one, Bao Trung, can you read this for me, please?
Which one, teacher?
Where I have highlighted.
I can't see it. I only see the water fuel assembly and plastic.
Ah, can you? Okay, hang on just a moment. I will stop that. Thank you for telling me, Bao Trung. Okay, now I can see. Okay, can you see it now, Bao Trung?
Yes, I see it.
Okay.
Yes, I start read. If
Yes,
you have
please.
to do the computer-based test, handwriting can be difficult to read.
Thank you, Bao Trung. So everyone, if you do have the choice, please do the computer-based test where you type your answers. Some of your handwriting is a little bit difficult to read. And when the examiner has to look at your test, you don't want the examiner to be distracted by having to try and read your writing. Much easier if you can type your answers. Now, I know that maybe some of you will find typing more difficult than writing, but that is something you will just have to practice, because the typing is much easier to read. And I think the less trouble the examiner has reading your answer, the better. Okay, if the examiner has trouble reading your answer, then he might get in a bad mood. He or she might get in a bad mood with writing. And you don't want to try and put the examiner in a bad mood. You want them to be in a good mood when they're reading your writing. So please try and do the computer-based test. Okay, number 2. Nok Kian.
Yes, sure.
Okay, can you read what I've highlighted, please?
Always use the part structure for writing task 1. Leave space between the paragraphs.
Good. Okay, so remember everyone, you write 4 paragraphs for writing task 1. A lot of you didn't do this. Okay, a lot of you maybe wrote only 3 paragraphs, or some people wrote only 1 paragraph, but it was very long. Remember, you have to write 4 separate paragraphs with a space in between each one. Otherwise, you will lose a mark for punctuation. Nok Kian.
Không học nữa. Được chưa?
Yes.
Yeah, Nok Kian. Can you tell me, what does POT stand for?
Vào học 10:30, cấm vào một trang gì hết. Cấm.
Thought P
Yeah.
is paraphrase.
Yes.
O is overview, and
Correct.
T is two detailed paragraph.
Correct. Thank you, Nok Kian. So please, everyone, use POT for answering task 1. Some people didn't do this, okay, which means you don't get a good mark. So you need to use pot. Okay, thank you, Nokian. Tu and Son.
Remember to paraphrase correctly, use synonyms, or change the structure of the sentence.
Thank you, Tu and Son. Good reading. So everyone, remember that you must paraphrase in your first paragraph. Your first sentence must be a paraphrase of the title of the graph. So you paraphrase by either using synonyms or by changing the structure of the sentence. And I will give you an example of this in just a moment. Remember, you don't need to change every word, just some words. And if you do change the structure of the sentence, you might need to change your grammar. Some of the word forms might need to change if you change the structure of the sentence. But it's important to remember these are the two ways to paraphrase. One, use synonyms. Two, change the structure of the sentence. I'll show you more about that in just a moment. And finally, my fourth suggestion, Phung Ni.
Yes.
Can you please read what I have highlighted?
Start your overview paragraph with overall, or it can be clearly seen that.
Thank you, Phung Ni. So everyone, please remember to start the overview paragraph, which is paragraph number 2. Always start with either overall or it can be clearly seen. So for this question, which I will show you now, the question you did for the mock test, it can be clearly seen is the best way to start. Okay, Bao Ling, can you see the graph, the chart rather, the diagram? Hello, Bao Ling.
Yes, I can see.
Okay, good.
To unplug the headphone.
It's okay. All right, good. Okay, so you can see this, and I'm reminding you of this because a lot of people didn't do this correctly. This is what you need to paraphrase for your first paragraph, okay? This is what you need to paraphrase. Charmy.
Yes.
Charmy, can you just quickly paraphrase this for me now? Okay, off the top of your head, just very quickly.
The diagram shows how it's. I don't really remember, but I write the diagram shows
Yep.
Constructions of a simple water filler, and its functions to generate clean drinking water.
Okay, so that's good, very good try, Charmy, very good try off the top of your head. That's good, without thinking too hard about it. That's good. So what I'm going to suggest is to make this a better paraphrase is to change the order of the phrases. All right, so what Charmy did, as you probably heard, she used synonyms. She just used some synonyms. For a start, you don't need to use below, okay? Because obviously, when you are writing your paraphrase, the diagram will not be below what you are writing. So you can leave that out. My suggestion is to change these two phrases around. So you start with this phrase. So I might say, the picture, all right, I'm using picture instead of diagram because that's what this is a picture. The picture shows how to How to do what? That? How to do what? How to?
How to produce clean drinking water.
Correct. Good. So you can see straight away I've paraphrased that. That's good, Dot, by just changing this phrase to the beginning. Okay, very simple. So this picture shows how to produce clean drinking water using what, Phung Ling? Using a
Using
this picture shows how to produce clean drinking water using a
using
what is this? Phung Ling?
simple water filter.
Correct. Okay, good. So you can see, everyone, all I've done for my paraphrase is I've put this phrase at the beginning of the sentence. Okay, I'm not using any synonyms really, apart from I've used picture instead of diagram. Okay, so that is a paraphrase. That's all you need to do sometimes. It's not, okay, it is quite difficult to try and think of a way to paraphrase this. A water filter is a water filter. Hard to think of another way of saying that. And you haven't got enough time to try and think of different words. Okay, so in this case, the easiest way to paraphrase this sentence was just to change the phrases around. So again, this picture shows, instead of illustrates, shows how to produce clean drinking water using a simple water filter. Viet Ang, does that make sense to you, Viet Ang?
Yeah, teacher.
Okay, good. So that is what you have to do for your first sentence. In this case, just a simple changing around of the phrases would be good enough to show that you've paraphrased it. All right, next one is your overview paragraph, of course. The overview paragraph would be, it can be clearly seen that, and many of you did the correct thing here. Many of you did the correct thing here. It can be clearly seen that there are how many stages, Bao Tran? How many stages in this process?
I think it's about 4 stages.
What are they, Bao Tran? What are they? If there are 4 stages, what are they?
Pour the water.
Yep.
The first one.
That's one.
The water will go through the 3 layers: sand, charcoal, and gravel.
Correct. Yeah. Then what next?
And then it will be sucked out by the straw, connect plastic barrel to storage drum.
Yeah. What is number 4?
And then the water will be drinkable. And
okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's pretty good, Bao Tran. Pretty good. To make it simpler, I think better to make it 3 stages, everyone. So some of you did this. 3 stages. First stage, you are mostly correct, Bao Tran, mostly correct. So stage number 1, of course, is putting the water into the water filter. Okay, you could even say stage 1 is taking the lid off. All right, this is a lid. Not many people mention that. You can take the lid off, put the water into the storage drum. The water is then filtered. Filtered is the verb you want to use. Remember, this is a water filter. So the water gets filtered. Then there is a word beginning with T, which I don't think anyone used, which is very useful when you talk about moving something from one place to another. It's a word beginning with T. Phung Ni.
Yes.
Pungni, can you guess what this word might be? When you move something from one place to another, such as in this diagram, okay, you can see the water goes from here to here. There's a word that begins with T. It's a little bit long word. What is it? Can you think?
Transform.
Correct, almost correct. Okay, not transformed, but very, very similar word, Pungni, very similar. Did you say transformed? Is that what you said to me? Okay, very, very similar word. You are almost correct. Fengling. Fengling.
Yes.
Yeah, what word is she thinking of? Not transformed. When you move, transformed, by the way, Fengni, means to change shape. Okay, little bit different. Transformed means to change shape of something. Here we are moving water from one barrel to another. Can you think of the word fengling? Very, very similar to transformed. Very similar.
Similar to transform.
Yeah, very similar. Means to move something from one place to another. Not sure?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay. Charmy,
Yes.
can you think of the word?
Can you hint? Can you give a hint for me?
Yeah, it sounds like it is very similar to transformed, which is the word that Feng Ni gave me. It means to
Transport?
move something from one place to another.
Is transport?
Transported could be one word, still not the word I'm thinking of. Okay, talking past tense, by the way, here, so it has to end in ed. Okay, not kian, not kian.
Yes, teacher.
Can you think of the word? Before I tell everyone, word is very similar to transformed, but it's not transformed. It means to move something from one place to another.
Transport.
Not transport. The word, everyone, is transferred. Transferred.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sure a lot of you know this word already. Transferred. Transferred. So here water is transferred through this pipe into this storage drum. So that is the key word that you need to know for this. Fengling. Does that make sense now? Transferred? Do you know this word? Okay. Okay, good. So this is a very useful word, everyone. So if you don't know it, please make a note of it. It's a good formal word, meaning to move something from one place to another. In this case, the water gets transferred to this plastic barrel through, this would be called a pipe, P-I-P-E. It is a pipe. A pipe. Or you could say tube. Tube is okay. It doesn't actually say, of course, in this diagram what this is called. So you can say tube or pipe. Up to you. So going back to the overview paragraph, the correct answer should be, it can be clearly seen there are 3 stages in this process. Firstly, water is poured into a storage drum, which is then, the water is then filtered through sand, charcoal, and gravel and transferred into another storage drum where it is ready to drink. Does that make sense to you, Dut?
Yes.
Okay, Dut, so can you please tell me that, please describe that for me, what I've just said. It can be clearly seen, it can be clearly seen.
It can be clearly seen that there are 3
stages to this process. That's
to
good,
the
Dut.
process.
Okay.
Yes.
Stage 1 is, what is stage 1?
The water is poured
into
the barrel.
Yeah, correct. Or storage drum. You can see the name here, storage drum.
Oh.
Good. In stage 2, the water is, and what
the water is,
and you turn this into a verb. See where the mouse is? That?
The water is filtered.
Good. Filtered. Everyone, filtered is the verb. Thank you, Dad. Is filtered, okay? And then it is, what was the word that I used to move the water from here to here?
And then it is transferred
Correct.
to the storage drum.
Okay, good. Where it is ready for drinking. That is good, Dad. Very good. So again, the overview is very simple, okay? These diagrams, although they look a little bit complicated when you first see them, they're not hard. All you have to do is work out how many stages, and for me, I think 3 is the best for this, and then just describe what you can see. So as Dat said, stage 1, the water is poured into the storage drum or barrel. It is then filtered and then transferred into another storage drum, okay, which is stage 3, where it is ready to drink. Charmy, does that make sense to you?
Yes, I understand it.
Good. Fung Ling, does that make sense to you?
Yes, I understand.
Good. Okay. Fung Ni.
Yes.
Can you please describe the process to me? It can be clearly seen.
It can be clearly seen that
there are
how
many stages?
4 stages.
3.
3 stages to
this. To this process. Okay, we are watching we are looking at a process. A process, this is called. Okay. All right. Can you give me the whole sentence again, please, Fung Ni? From the beginning.
It can be clearly seen that 3 steps to
3 stages, or in this process. In this process.
3 steps in this process.
Good. All right. Next sentence. Stage 1. In stage 1.
In stage 1, they.
Yeah. What is this?
Put water into the plastic, storage drum.
Correct. Okay. Stage 2. The water is. What is the verb form of this? The water is.
The water is filtered.
Filtered. Good. All right. And then it is. And what did I say the word was? To move the water from here to here?
It's transferred.
Correct. To
the storage drum.
To another storage drum where it is ready for what?
It's ready for the drinking water.
Correct. Ready for drinking. Okay. So does that make sense, Fung Ni? Okay. It's very simple. All right. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So I'm just taking a little bit of time to do this because not many people did this 100% correctly. And remember, the overview paragraph is the most important paragraph of writing task 1, because this is where you show that you understand what the diagram is showing. So again, it can be clearly seen there are 3 stages to this process. In stage 1, the water is poured into a storage drum where it is filtered and transferred to another storage drum in stage 3, where it is ready for drinking. Very simple. So I hope you all understand that. Again, very simple. Then, of course, all you had to do for your detailed paragraphs was describe in more detail what happens. So detailed paragraph number 1, you would say, to make it a bit longer, you would say, the lid is removed or taken off from the storage barrel. The water is poured in and is filtered through sand, charcoal, and gravel. Okay, that is detail paragraph 1. Detail paragraph number 2, your fourth paragraph, you then just describe how the water is transferred through a Baoling. Okay, the water is transferred through a what? What is the name of this?
I think it's a water pipe.
Yeah, transferred through a water pipe, or what is the word beginning with T? Means the same thing.
I don't remember that word.
Okay, tube, everyone, tube. Like YouTube. Okay, same word. Okay, a pipe or tube. Pipe or tube means the same. Both mean the same thing. Transferred through a tube. That's good, Baoling. Okay, so remember we're talking about your last paragraph here, detail paragraph 2. The water is transferred through a tube where it is again stored, all right, and ready for drinking. That's all you have to do with this. Very simple. So, Baoling, do you understand? Okay, good. Viet Ang.
Yeah, teacher.
Okay, Viet Ang, you are the last one I will get to do this before I move on. Okay, can you please describe the process for me for the overview paragraph? So, it can be clearly seen. Viet Ang.
It can be clearly seen that three steps
There are three steps. There are three steps.
There's three steps to
in this
in the process.
Correct. Okay. Step 1. In step 1.
In step 1.
Yeah. In step 1, what happens?
It puts the water to into the apple storage drum.
Into the storage drum. Correct. Okay. In step 2, the water is what? What is the verb?
Filter.
Good. In step 2, the water is filtered.
To gravel.
Good. Yeah, is filtered, and then
they transfer to another storage drum.
Correct. Good, Viet Ang. That's very good. Very good. So that's everyone. This is all you have to write for this. It is very simple. Okay. So next time we do this test, hopefully you will understand how easy it really is. You just need to remember words like transferred. Okay. Filtered is the verb for what is happening here. Filtered. So really all the words that you need are already here, except for transferred and except for maybe this word here, pipe or tube. Are there any questions? Any questions about writing task 1? Okay, like I say, I think these ones, the process diagrams, are one of the easiest because all you need to do is describe exactly what you see in the picture. You don't need to analyze anything like you do with a graph or a chart or a table. I think they are harder. This one, you just describe the picture. So the first step is work out how many stages. You start your overview with it can be clearly seen. All right. And then just describe the 3 stages. Very simple. Okay. Writing task number 2, which I won't look at now, which we will look at later. We will practice this later. I know I haven't practiced this, I think, with many of you, if any of you. Okay. Writing task 2 was a double question essay. And the structure for this is quite simple. You do an introduction. You're still writing 4 paragraphs. Okay, an introduction. Detail paragraph 1, you answer question 1. Detail paragraph 2, you answer question 2. What is paragraph 4? Chami, paragraph 4.
I think it's a conclusion.
Correct. Very good, Chami. Paragraph 4 is always a conclusion. Okay, so that is the basic structure of this sort of essay. Introduction, detail paragraph 1. In this case, you had to answer the first question. Detail paragraph 2, the second question. Detail paragraph 4, always a conclusion. Okay, so that is the structure for that essay. And like I say, we will look at this in more detail in the next couple of weeks to give you practice at this. Okay, now moving on to the speaking test, everyone. So parts 1 and 3 were generally okay. All of you actually did pretty well on parts 1 and 3. So nobody gave me one-word answers, which was great. Okay, remember rule number 1, don't give a one-word answer to any of these questions. Nobody did that, which was very good. So just a couple of general suggestions. Some of you spoke too fast. Okay, please remember just to speak at walking speed. All right, don't run. Okay, just walk your way through your talk. Just speak like you are speaking to maybe your parents or a friend. Remember, don't speak too quietly. The examiner must be able to hear you. All right, so please don't speak looking down all the time. Please speak to the examiner. And also, I know this one is a bit hard, but try not to be too nervous. The more we practice this, the less nervous you will be. But sometimes if you are very nervous, of course, it limits your ability to talk confidently, and that will affect your score. Okay. In part 3, again, most of you did this quite well. Remember, the structure for part 3 is answer the question, give an explanation, and maybe give an example. For example, one of the questions I asked all of you was, why are some people nervous about giving an opinion? Bao Trung.
Yes.
Why are some people nervous about giving an opinion? Just quickly tell me. Give me one reason. One reason.
Because they fear that their opinion will make the conflict.
Okay. Okay, good. Now, what is maybe an example of that?
That all the people all decide to go to Hanoi, but only me choose Ho Chi Minh City to go. But I don't want to tell them. Yes, I think that's the example for some people.
Okay, you have the right idea about Trung. Okay, you have the right idea. Bao Ling.
Yes.
Okay, can you try this for me, please? Just quickly, give me one reason. Why are some people nervous about giving their opinion?
The thing is maybe hurt or people don't like their opinion.
Okay, and can you give me an example?
Example like everyone discuss about a topic, but the majority choose the other opinion and an individual choose other opinion, so it might be like it's to separate from the other.
Okay, good, Bao-Ling. You have the right idea. So everyone, please remember to, when you are to give an explanation and give an example. I will give you an example. So for example, I think some people are scared to give their opinion because they think other people will laugh at them. For example, maybe some people think that astronauts have never been to the moon, that astronauts have never been to the moon, and all the things you see on TV were made in a movie studio. Does this make sense to you, Chami?
Yes, I understand.
Okay, so I'm just giving an example here. So my opinion might be, I think people have never been to the moon, really, and everything you see on TV about it was just done in a movie studio. Okay, so I am scared to give that opinion, though, because people might laugh at me for that. So I have given, hopefully you can all understand this, I've given an explanation why some people are scared to give their opinion, because people might laugh at me. And two, I've given an example. I might think people have never been to the moon and everything that looks like they're going to the moon was just done in a movie studio. But I don't want to say this because people will laugh at me. Does that make sense, Chami?
Yes.
Okay, so remember everyone, this is how you need to answer part 3 questions. Okay, always try to give an example, which many of you did, by the way. But again, I'm just reminding you of this. All right. Now, part 2. Okay, some of you couldn't speak for 2 minutes. Some of you were longer than 2 minutes. Now, if you can't speak for 2 minutes, okay, this is not crucial. Crucial, by the way, means very important. Okay, this isn't very important. Yes, if you can, it's good to speak for 2 minutes, but don't panic if you think you've only spoken for 1.5 minutes. That's all you can think of to say. It doesn't mean you won't get a good score. All right, part 2 is only one part of the speaking test. So if you can't speak for all 2 minutes, don't give up. All right, please don't think, oh no, I didn't speak for 2 minutes, I've failed already. Don't think that. Don't give up. You can still get a good score even if you don't speak for 2 minutes. So that is number 1. Some people, okay, had a bit of trouble with pausing and hesitation. Now, pausing and hesitation is caused by 2 things. Number 1, you can't think of the correct word when you are trying to give your talk. If you can't think of the correct word, say something like, I can't think of that word at the moment, but I will continue, and just continue, okay? Don't let that put you off. The important thing in part 2 is not to panic. If you can't think of the correct word, this happens to everyone all the time. Just keep going. Just say, sorry, I can't think of that word, and go on with the next part of your talk. Number 2, the reason why people often pause or they can't talk for 2 minutes is you run out of ideas. You run out of ideas. The solution to this is tu and son. Tu and son. What is the solution to this?
We should practice more and think with this in our head.
What have I highlighted here, Tu and son?
Much easier to pick 1 or 2 ideas and explain them more deeply.
Yeah, and this?
And to think of 4 or 5 different ideas.
Good. Thank you, Tu and son. That is correct. Okay. So everyone, the solution is to think of 1 or 2 ideas and explain them more deeply instead of trying to think of 4 or 5 different ideas. Okay. Then you have to try and explain each one. I'll give you an example. All right. The question is, tell me about a place you'd like to visit. Tell me at a place you'd like to visit. My answer is Paris. I would like to visit Paris. Why would I like to visit Paris? Okay, well, for the following reasons. Okay, I want to see the Eiffel Tower. I want to visit museums and art galleries. I want to go shopping. I want to eat some French food. Okay, now there are 4 topics. Much easier, okay, for me just to choose 1 or 2 topics out of that, okay, and then write down bullet points for that in detail. So say, for example, I choose the topic food. So during my 1-minute preparation, I can write down food. I really like French food. There are so many different things I want to try. For example, I hear French people sometimes eat snails. I think snails are really disgusting. I see snails in my garden at home, and I would never eat one. But I think the French, they have a way of cooking snails that makes them more delicious. Okay, so straight away, I've used up 15 seconds talking about snails. Snails is the first thing I've written on my notes. The second thing I've written about food is croissants. I really like croissants, however. Croissants can have many different flavors. For example, in Vietnam, I have seen croissants with chocolate in them. I've seen croissants with cream in them. I've seen croissants filled with many different sorts of things. Okay, croissants was the second thing I wrote on my list. Number 3, what is another famous French food? Maybe their bread. Little bit like croissants, okay? But the French have many, many different sorts of bread and cakes. So I hope you can see now how I'm going to fill up my 2 minutes. Okay, I've thought about a place I'd like to visit, which is Paris, okay? But instead of naming all the things I want to do in Paris, I've just concentrated on one thing. And it's much easier to talk about one thing in detail than it is to talk about all these different things. Eiffel Tower. I don't know much about the Eiffel Tower, so I can't talk about that much. Museums and art galleries. Maybe the same thing. I know a little bit about them, but I don't know enough to maybe fill 2 minutes. Same with shopping, but food, okay? I know I can talk about food because I know the sort of food I like and the sort of food I want to try in Paris. I know I'm doing a lot of talking here, but I'm trying to make it simple for you for next time. Bao Tran, does this make sense to you?
Yes, I understand it.
Okay, so remember, I'm picking just one topic and I'm talking about it more deeply. Okay, it is much easier than trying to write a whole list of things during your 1-minute preparation. Okay, and then trying to talk about, remember to say something about each one. Just pick one topic. Not Kian, not Kian.
Yes, teacher.
Not Kian, can you try this for me, please, just quickly? So, not Kian, your hometown is Hanoi, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so Hanoi. Now, there are many different things to do in Hanoi, aren't there? Many different things. Not Kian? Can you hear me, not Kian?
I think I still can hear you.
You can't hear me very well?
It's kind of laggy.
Oh, okay. Sorry, not Kian. Okay, I'll try someone else. Chami.
Yes.
Okay, Chami. So, Hanoi is your hometown, okay?
Yes.
Okay, there are many different things to do in Hanoi, aren't there, Chami?
Yes, there are so many places to do in Hanoi.
Okay, if you had to pick one, what is one? Pick one place.
I will choose a shopping mall,
Okay,
which
good. All
close
right.
to my house.
Shopping mall close to your house. Okay, Chami, tell me about the things you could see in this shopping mall. Tell me about some of them.
Well, I can see a wide range of shops here, which provide us an opportunity to shopping and also like for entertainment. We can watch, we can go to the cinema, buy groceries, or playing some games.
Right.
It's really
So,
fun.
all right. Now tell me about one of those things, Chami. One thing that you have done out of those things.
I think it's go shopping in the mall. It has many
Tell me about a shop. Be more specific. Tell me about a shop.
It has many local brand shops, which I buy most is named blue is really like suitable for my age, and the clothes is also really cute.
Okay. Last time you went there, Charmy, what did you buy? Last time you went to the shop.
I bought a sweater for the last winter, so it's really a long time.
What color is
And
the sweater? What color is the sweater?
It was a red sweater which I bought it for Christmas, and
Good.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
And
it
when?
has
Yeah.
a print of Santa and a Christmas tree. It's very cute and
Very cute.
adorable. Yes.
Very cute and adorable. Great. So, Charmy, this is very good. So, can you see what I mean about doing one topic in detail?
Yes.
Does this make sense? So instead, it would be very easy to think, oh, Hanoi, there are so many things to do. There's Hon Kiem Lake. There are the cafes and the restaurants and the banh mi. Maybe I can go to see some of the tourist sites like Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum. Oh, and then maybe there is shopping, okay? So it is too hard to think of all those things in 1 minute, okay? Much better to pick on one thing, your favorite thing, like Charmy did there. She talked about the shopping, and then I asked her to tell me about one shop in particular and what she bought there. And Charmy, that was easier for you, wasn't it? Because then you could talk to me about your sweater or your jersey. And because you can picture it in your mind, much easier to talk about, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't have to make anything up or try to think of any detail because it's already there. Okay, so does this suggestion make sense to you?
Yes, I understand it.
Yeah, and very easy to fill up 2 minutes just doing that, because you are talking about something that you are familiar with and something that you can already see in your mind because it's something that you've done or you have been to. Okay, that was good, Charmy. You did very well. Okay. Feng Ling.
Yes.
I'm going to try the same thing with you, okay, Feng Ling? Did that make sense, what I was saying to Charmy? Okay, so when you are asked to do a topic, you pick on one thing, okay, and you go into more detail about it. So I'll do the same thing with you, Feng Ling. Your hometown is Hanoi.
Yes, my
Okay.
hometown is.
All right. So yeah, tell me something about Hanoi. So remember, you choose your favorite thing. Your favorite thing.
Hanoi is.
What do you like to do in Hanoi, Feng Ling? What do you like to do?
I would like to do walking around streets and buy something to eat.
Okay, so tell me about that. I like walking around the streets and buy something to eat. So what? Give me an example. What happens?
Sometimes when I feel not very good, I will go for a walk and buy some chips or milk tea and just walk around my around my house and see everyone going on the streets.
Yeah. For example, keep going. For example, you see people going around. What sort of things are they doing?
They will someone will running or they will laughing with friends and eating like me.
Yes. Yeah. So this is good, Feng Ling. Exactly this. So you can see, I hope, Feng Ling, how easy this is, okay? Because you are describing something that you know in your mind already. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, you can say, I walk around the streets and maybe I go to this cafe or restaurant and I get my favorite food, which maybe for me is something like an ice cream. What is the name of the Feng Ling? What is the name of the popular ice cream shop in Hanoi? Shu Mi or something. Shu Mi, is it something like that?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is me talking. I go into Fumi and I order my favorite ice cream, okay, which is like the vanilla ice cream with the chocolate topping. Okay, I go in there and I get one of those, very delicious. And then I go outside and I watch to see what all the people are doing. Now, the last time I did this, I saw someone running or jogging. I saw someone they were playing badminton on the footpath. Okay, so do you get the idea, Fung Ling, how easy this is?
Yes.
You were just describing something that you have already seen in your mind. And so when someone asks you to talk about Hanoi, Hanoi obviously is too big a subject. So you just pick on one small part, okay? Something that you like to do, and then just talk about that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, and you can do this with any topic they give you. So remember, you have 1 minute to think about, what is my favorite part of this topic, or what do I know best? And then just go into detail about that one part. So like Fung Ling did, Fung Ling talked about she likes to go walking. If maybe she feels a bit sad, she goes to her favorite cafe, she gets her favorite food to make her feel better. And then maybe she goes outside to see what the people are doing. And this is what the people are doing. And she talks about that for another minute. Okay, Fung Ling? Okay, and very simple. That's all you have to do. Very simple, easy to fill up 2 minutes. So I hope you all understand that, how easy it is. Okay, so are there any questions about that for what to do next time? All right, I'm just going to give you a quick exercise now. This one. All right, some of you had this topic in the speaking test, I know, but please, can you quickly write down in the next minutes bullet points that you would write for this topic? Tell me about an unusual meal that you once had. Okay? Tell me about an unusual meal that you once had. I don't want you to talk for 2 minutes, okay? Don't worry about that. I just want you to tell me the bullet points that you are going to write down, that you will write down for this. So I will give you a minute. So the topic is, tell me about an unusual meal you once had. Unusual, of course, means something that you don't normally eat. Something that is a little bit different from your normal food. And what I just want to know is maybe the 3 or 4 bullet points that you would write down in the 1 minute. I just want to make sure you all have the idea about how to do this correctly. Okay, just another few seconds of this. Okay, we'll start. Dut.
Yes.
Okay, Dut, please tell me your bullet points.
I once had the unusual meal with my friend last month.
Okay, so what is your bullet point? So your bullet point is unusual meal with my friend last month. Okay, obviously, Dut, what was it? What was it?
I'm not sure.
What, you're not sure what the meal was? What was it called?
It's a the sushi.
Sashimi. Okay. Okay. What is your next bullet point, Dut?
It was a very expensive restaurant.
Okay, what is your next bullet point?
It costs $50 per each person.
Wow, that is expensive, very expensive. Okay, so that is all the bullet points. So Dart, that is all the bullet points you need, okay? So you, first of all, you need, when you are giving your speech, okay, you would talk about where the restaurant is. Maybe you went there with your friend, okay? You wanted to eat this meal. You talk about what the meal is called, sashimi. Then you need to describe what the sashimi looks like, okay?
Yes.
Okay, what it looks like, and of course, most importantly, what it tastes like. All right. And then you mention how expensive it is. So you can say this cost us $50 per person, which is a lot of money. And then you might give an example by saying, usually for $50, I could buy this Vietnamese food, and describe that Vietnamese food and talk in detail about that Vietnamese food. Do you get the idea, Dart?
Yes.
So you have the right idea for bullet points. So all you need to do then is just talk in more detail about them. And you can just describe from your memory, like I say, what the food looked like, what it tasted like, what the restaurant was like. Was the restaurant busy? Okay, was it not busy? Was it like a fancy restaurant or not fancy? Was it just a street restaurant? Okay, does that
Yes.
make sense, Dart?
Yes.
Okay, Feng Ling. Feng Ling.
Yes.
Bullet points, please.
This what I eat. From the topic. What I eat. When and when and with who.
Yeah. What else?
And, how I feel. Is it delicious or bad? And will I return that restaurant and
Yeah. So you could talk about the restaurant.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Anything else for your bullet points? So you need to talk about, obviously, the meal, what it is.
yes.
Why is it
What I eat.
unusual? Yeah.
Yes. And
Who
when I
you
eat
went
it.
with? Yeah.
And
who you eat with? Yeah.
Yeah. And how I feel.
How you feel? Good. Okay. How you feel about it, whether it was good or bad, or delicious or not delicious. And then maybe if you still have time, my other bullet point might be what I would rather eat. Okay. That would easily fill up time. You might say, I would much rather eat banh mi next time because, and then you talk about why you like banh mi.
Yes.
Okay, does that make sense? Easy
Yes.
to fill up time and easy for you to describe, of course. Why do you like banh mi? Okay, very easy for you to talk about, I'm sure.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, Chami.
Yes.
Bullet points, please.
Can you hear me?
I can now.
Yes, my bullet point is first you talk about who you were with when you eat an unusual meal.
Yep.
And the restaurant you went to. And when it happened and why it was unusual.
Okay. Maybe for your bullet points, I think, Chami, a little bit more detail about the meal itself. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So my bullet points, I might write, just to adapt your bullet points, I might write down when, where, with. Okay,
Yes.
which would cover all those things. That's my first bullet point. Those three things, just when, where, with. Okay, next bullet point would be, what is the meal? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, next bullet point would be, what do you think? How did it?
How it is taste?
Yes. Okay. What is the taste? Yeah. Or even, how does it look? Did it look delicious? Or maybe it looked not delicious.
Yes.
Okay. How did it taste? Okay. When you had tasted it, how did you feel? Okay.
Yes.
Another bullet point. So first bullet point is where, when, with. Second bullet point, what is it? Does that make sense?
Yes.
What is the unusual meal? Maybe third bullet point, taste. Just write down taste.
Yes.
All right. Taste, comma, feel. Remind you, how did it make me feel? Because remember, these bullet points, you're always looking down when you are talking to remind you. Okay. How did it feel? How did it look? Okay. And maybe the next bullet, did you have another bullet point besides those?
Why it was an unusual meal?
Yeah. Okay. Why?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Any more?
I think no.
Okay, so one more, like I said before to Feng Ling, maybe if you didn't like this meal, what you would rather eat instead, okay, and talk about your favorite meal. Or if you did like this meal, you could talk about, well, you're already going to talk about how you felt about it and how delicious it is, but why maybe you don't eat it more often. Something like that. Okay.
Yes.
So remember, but you can talk more detail about the meal itself, like the restaurant, for example. You can talk about the inside of the restaurant. Okay.
Yes.
This restaurant was in this district of Hanoi. I went down a small alleyway or a small alley to find the restaurant. It was a little bit hidden, but once I got inside, the restaurant was very beautifully decorated. Okay, it had different flags inside, and the tables were very clean, and they were full of lots of people. The people in the restaurant were laughing and talking.
Yes.
All right, so the same as what you did with the shopping mall, you just need to talk in more detail about each of those things. I hope I'm making sense, Chami.
Yes.
So instead of just saying, oh, I went to this restaurant, okay, and I ate my meal, okay, talk for more about, tell me about the restaurant, okay?
Yes.
Where it was, what it looked like, how many people were inside, okay? And you can do all this from your memory, very easy.
Yes.
Okay, that is the idea. All right, thank you, Chami. Viet Ang. Viet Ang.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, Viet Ang, your bullet points, please.
My bullet point is football match with my friend.
What else?
When we have a football match, when it started, who fly with me and how we feel when we end the football match. How long it take? How long we have a football match? In which? Yes, I think.
Okay, so
okay,
you are similar, but again, you are spending too much time on writing down things which can be summed up very simply. So I hope you can all see this. Can you see what I have written? Bao Ling. Bao Ling. Can you see what I'm holding up?
I cannot see. It's
You
very
can't see anything. Right. I will turn this off. Then hopefully you can see. Ah, it's a bit blurry, isn't it?
yes. Just the background is like a
Yeah, everything's very blurry. Sorry. Ah, I know it's a bit hard to see. Sorry. What I've written, everyone, I know it's very hard to see. It's blurry. But what I've written is where, when, who. Okay, and that is one bullet point. Okay, that is not 3 bullet points. That is 1 bullet point. Just write down where, when, who. All right, and that will remind you to say where it was that you went for this unusual meal, who you were with, okay, and when it was. So you don't need to write down who was I with, okay? When was it? Does this make sense, Bao Ling? You just write down 3 words, where, when, who. And this is 1 bullet point, okay? Bao Ling, can you continue with your bullet points, please?
yes.
What have you got?
First, I will write like where the meal take place.
Yeah.
When I get it, and whom I have the meal with.
That's right. So again, you just need to write 3. Remember, you only have 1 minute, of course, to write all this. Okay. So just write down those, 3 words: where, when, who. That's all you need. Okay. Next bullet point, darling. Next one.
This bullet point is a explanation about my milk, and next how I like talk about the texture of the milk or how I feel about it.
Yep.
And how I feel after I finish my dish. But if I don't like it, I can talk about other foods that I rather eat too.
That's good. Okay, so very simply, those bullet points would be: first one, you just write down where, when, who. All right, next bullet point, you write down what was the unusual meal. Okay, that is just what. That will remind you to talk about what is the unusual meal. What I'm trying to do with this, everyone, I'm trying to make the bullet points very short for you, so you don't need to write down lots of things in your 1 minute. Just sometimes 1 word will be enough as a bullet point to remind you of what to say next. Then, Bao Ling, you can write down taste. Okay, that will remind you to talk about the taste. You can write down feel. All right, you can write down feel disgusting. Okay, because this was the worst thing I have ever eaten. All right. So your bullet point would just be feel equals disgusting. That is to remind you about how to talk about how awful this meal was. All right, then maybe you can write down just 1 word that says rather eat fur. I know that's 3 words, sorry, but that is your next bullet point: rather eat fur. Okay, to remind you what you would rather eat, and then you can talk in detail about why you like eating fur. This makes sense, Bao Ling?
Yes.
Okay. I hope, please tell me if this doesn't make sense. What I'm trying to do is to get you to write down the bullet points, which are just 2 or 3 words even, just to remind you of how to talk about something in more detail. Fung Ni.
Yes.
What are your bullet points, please?
My first bullet point is when, where, and with.
Yep.
And second is what is this? Describe what is the ingredient in that food.
Yep.
And last is when I eat it, how do I feel and why I don't often eat that food.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, that's fine, Fung Ni. That's fine. Okay, good. That's good. So you think you could use those to talk for 2 minutes, Fung Ni?
I think is yes.
As I was suggesting before to Cha-Mi, you can talk about the restaurant, for example, in a bit more detail if you need to for time. Describe what the restaurant looked like. Okay, what district was it in? This restaurant was in the Ba Ding district of Hanoi. All right. It was down this small street. Okay, inside there were many people. The restaurant had beautiful decorations and many flowers. Okay, so again, just go into something like this in a bit more detail. So instead of just saying we went to the restaurant and ate this food, talk more detail about it. That's what I'm trying to get you to say. Okay, Phung Ni?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, Tuan Son.
Yes.
Okay, what are your bullet points?
My bullet point is where did I eat it? How did it taste? How much did it cost?
Yep.
What is the ingredients? What's the restaurant crowd? Or there are only few people?
Yep.
And who did I eat with?
Okay. Anything else, Beltran? Sorry, Tuan Son? Anything else?
That's all.
Okay. All right. So again, Tuan Son, what I would do is I would shorten those just to, where, when, who. Okay. That is one bullet point. All right. Just where, when, who. That will remind you to talk about that. Then what? What did I eat that was unusual? What ingredients? You can write down just ingredients. What do you think was in this dish? All right. Then just write down taste or feel. How did this thing taste? Was it delicious? Was it not delicious? Feel. How did it make me feel? Did it make me feel happy? Did it make me feel sick? Okay. So sick I wanted to vomit or something like that. This was just horrible. Never eaten anything so bad in my life. Okay. And then, like I say, you can write down, you can go into more detail in these descriptions about the restaurant itself or what the food looked like. Okay. And maybe what you would rather eat instead. But you got the right idea, Tuan Son. Not Kian.
Yes.
Your bullet points, please.
My bullet point, first one is what did I eat? Of course I choose pho. I usually eat at the morning weekend with my family when we have time. And we eat at the street store at the corner of.
So that's where did you eat?
And
Yeah, just
I
where?
feel pho is very good and tasty because it has its own belong to Hanoi cuisine.
Okay, good. All right.
I very
So,
appreciate it and the time we have meal together.
Okay, good. Okay, that's good, Nok Kian. But remember, for the bullet points, you can actually make them shorter. Okay, so what you are saying is fine. Okay, but when you are just writing down, like I was saying before to the other students, just write down what, where, when. All right, that's all you need to write down. That will remind you to talk about those things. Okay, who, just write down who. Taste, feel. Remember, some of these bullet points can just be one word, as long as they are enough to remind you to talk about them. All right, thank you, Nok Kian. Bao Trang, thank you for waiting, Bao Trang.
Yes.
Okay, Bao Trang, your bullet points, please.
So when I get the meal and who I go with and why it unusual.
Yep.
So I take unusual meal last week.
Yep, that's fine. You don't need to tell me in detail, just the bullet points, Bao Trang.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So I go with
what else? Yeah.
I go with my fam. And why? Because why unusual? Because it's
That's
And,
fine. Just why is enough. Okay, just why. You
yes.
don't need to tell me. Just you have why written down.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Anything else?
Where I have it.
Yeah, where? So again, remember, thank you, Beltrang. So again, remember these bullet points, the ones that you were telling me, can all be cut down to just single words. Okay, where, when, who. All right, then what. All right, just write down those words. You can just use then those words to remind you to talk about the detail. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do with this exercise. Good, Beltrang. Good. All right, then obviously taste, feel, just write those words down. How did it taste? How did it make me feel? You can talk about that. Restaurant, maybe write down restaurant, so you can talk about maybe there was something interesting about the restaurant you can talk about in more detail. Maybe there's something interesting about the street where the restaurant is, you can talk about in more detail. Maybe, like I suggested to a couple of the others, you can write down the word or the words, I would rather eat something else, whatever your favorite food is. Okay? So this is what I'm trying to say, is to make these bullet points very simple, just very simple, but so they can allow you to talk in more detail about one thing. Okay, so, wow, already it's almost 12 o'clock, everyone, and I've been doing a lot of talking, but I just want to make sure that you understand all of this. What else was I going to very quickly share with you? I've only got about halfway through all the things I had for you to do this lesson, which is I wanted you to finish that map. Yeah, so everyone, this is the way, of course, to get better. All right, please practice recording yourself on your phones. I know some people find it very difficult to listen to themselves. A lot of people think my voice is very ugly. Okay, I don't want to listen to my voice. Well, the more you listen to your voice, the more you will get used to it. And when you think about it, everyone has been listening to your voice for the last 15 or 16 years already, and they are very used to it. So you will get used to it too. Okay, but you do need to practice recording yourself on your phone. And remember, the way to do this is just at first talk for 30 seconds, then change that to talking for 1 minute, and keep building it up until you can talk for 2 minutes. Then listen to yourself back and see maybe how you could improve it. Listen to your pronunciation and listen to your vocabulary. You can be your own best teacher for this. You don't need me for this, but that is the way to learn. And it is like everything, learning to play tennis, badminton, golf, whatever. You need to practice it to get better. And the easiest way to practice speaking is to record yourself. No one else needs to listen to this, just you. Okay, so pick a topic. There are many topics online. If you go to any of the Ielts site, the Cambridge site, they have lots of different speaking topics. Just pick one and then just practice talking about it. But like I was saying, the way to take it, what makes it easier is, okay, I will highlight this again for you. Pick 1 or 2 ideas and explain about them more deeply. So the example I got Cha-Mi to give me was Cha-Mi talked about shopping in Hanoi. I got her to talk about one shopping mall. I got her then to talk about one shop in that shopping mall. Then I got her to talk about what did she buy from that one shop? What did it look like? What was it made of? Okay, just talk about one thing in detail, the shopping. When you're talking about unusual meal, talk about obviously who you were with, when it was, where it was, what it was. All right. But then go into more detail about it. How did the meal look? What did it taste like? Did it remind you of anything? What would you have rather had? The restaurant where you had the meal, what was that like? Where was it? how many people were there. Okay, just talk in more detail about one thing, which I hope you will find, and you will find this much easier than trying to talk about a whole lot of different things. I hope this has made sense to you. So I'm going to actually, I'll finish the lesson here because it's almost time for lunch. And I'm sure you are very tired by now of the sound of my voice. All right, can you please turn your cameras on? Those of you who've got your cameras off. Dat weer aan. Turn your cameras on, please. Thank you. Okay, so in summary, everyone, in summary, I hope now you remember how to do writing task 1. Okay, always use pot. Always write 4 paragraphs. The overview paragraph is the most important. Phung Ni.
Yes.
What are the 2 ways you can start the overview paragraph with?
Overall, it can be clearly seen that.
Okay, 100% Phung Ni. Okay, very good. Perfect. All right, so you know how to do that. All right, with the speaking test, okay, Bao Trang, is it okay in the speaking test to give yes or no as an answer?
I think it's no.
Correct. Why?
More detail.
Correct. Okay, exactly right, Bao Trang, 100%. Okay, yes or no are one-word answers. Never give a one-word answer in the speaking test. Always give more detail. Okay, so I'll finish off the rest of this with you next week, and we'll also go back to finishing off the map exercise that we did a few weeks ago. So again, everyone, thank you for coming today. All right, it was lovely to see you, and like I say, I already miss you all very much. Okay, it was so lovely to see all of you face to face, and I look forward to seeing you all again, obviously next week, but also next time I come back to Hanoi. As usual, if you have any questions, please don't feel free to email me or to ask Mrs. Ha. So that's it from me for now. Mrs. Ha, do you have anything to say?
No, thank you, teacher. It's okay, it's fine.
Okay, everyone,
Okay.
Please enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Okay, I look forward to seeing you next week.
Okay, goodbye, teacher. Goodbye, everyone.
Okay.
Okay.
Ciao.